Most people use the new year as a time to look forward. Well, today I'll be doing the opposite by looking back to 2023, specifically to my very first journey that year, where I started in style with what's believed to be the best first class in Britain on one of LNER's iconic Intercity 225 sets. We'll hit speeds of 125 miles an hour as we travel down the East Coast Main Line from Yorkshire to London. Now sit back and enjoy the ride. Now I did this journey first thing in the morning on New Year's Day, which was a Sunday last year, so I begin the journey to London travelling to where I'll be catching the train from, Doncaster Station. Doncaster's railway station dates back to 1849 and is not shy about the city's proud link to British railway history. It has received several rebuilds and refurbishments since its initial construction, one of the most recent being in 2006 to connect to the nearby French Gate shopping centre. The inside of the station still showed a large hint of the festive season as the year began. The Christmas tree is still up and greeting passengers as they enter the new year with a sense of hope and adventure, much like I did this day. All platforms are accessed via an underpass through the main station concourse, and there are no ticket barriers here. There are also shops and outlets in the concourse and on the platforms. Platform 8 is where northbound services to places such as Leeds tend to depart from, and where you can see Wabtec's Doncaster works, with many of the vehicles here awaiting their fate being stripped for spares or simply scrapped. Local services here are mostly provided by Northern across Yorkshire and the Humber, whilst long-distance intercity services are split amongst operators such as Cross Country and Hull Trains, who serve the station less frequently than the principal operator LNER, who also manage the station. Most LNER services are operated using these newer Azuma trains, which will be coming soon to the channel. These replace the former HST fleet and most of the Intercity 225s at the end of 2019. However, LNER have since retained a limited number of Intercity 225 sets to run services on the East Coast Main Line from London to Leeds and York. I personally find that the Intercity 225s provide a much better travel experience than the Azumas, though there's plenty more time to delve into this later on board. As there's still time before the train arrives, let's check out the first class lounge on platform 3A. Lounges like this can be found at most LNER stations, though only LNER first class tickets can get you inside. Tickets with operators such as Grand Central won't allow access, I'm afraid. As far as British first class lounges go, this one isn't too bad. You can also grab a few snacks and drinks ahead of your journey. Our train now pulls in a few minutes before departure, having originated from Leeds. Each Intercity 225 set has a consist of 9 British Rail Mark IV coaches and a driving van trailer, with a Class 91 locomotive providing the power. One of these locomotives, 91110, holds the speed record for a British electric locomotive, having reached 161.7 miles per hour on a test run in 1989. The livery worn by the trains is similar yet different to the Azumas. The colour scheme is the same in line with LNER's core brand, but the livery is a modern replica of the original Intercity Swallow livery these trains wore when they were first introduced in the late 80s and early 90s. This comes despite LNER having 10 tri-mode CAF Civity units on order to replace the sets in the next few years. I personally love the new look of these trains. What do you think of it? Well, first class is towards the front of the train, closest to the DVT, so I'll board from here and show you standard class whilst I'm at it. This is in a 2x2 seating layout with both airline and table seats. The interiors of these trains were refurbished by former operator Virgin Trains prior to LNER's takeover in 2018, and they certainly look the part. Each train also features a buffet counter just before first class, and you can also order here through LNER's online portal for either pickup here or delivery to your seat. First class makes up 3 coaches and is in a 2x1 seating configuration, and it appears we're already heading off. I'll sit here so we can check out today's route down to London. Our route will see us travel down the East Coast Main Line with 4 intermediate stops along the way at Newark, Grantham, Peterborough and Stevenage. Our scheduled arrival into London King's Cross, after just under 2 hours of travel, is 11:34 UK time. Our departure from Doncaster is 1 minute late at 9:39 AM UK time. Immediately after leaving Doncaster, we pass both Doncaster Car, one of the depots where the Azumas are maintained, and Belmont Yard. At the latter, a number of locomotives are either stabled or stored, including a number of Class 91s which weren't lucky enough to stay on with LNER. One has since been preserved in Scotland, whilst the rest of the locomotives seen here have since been scrapped during 2023. A gorgeous dawn is present as we quickly pick up speed to make our way down the east coast. It's not much longer too until the menu is provided. This is LNER's Christmas menu, served from late November until near the end of the first week of January. There's only one hard-working host today owing to staff shortages, so whilst we're waiting, let's check out the features of the train. I personally find the seats very comfortable. These are the same as those used on Cross Country's and Chiltern's Mark III carriages, so are well suited for long distance journeys. On the aisle side of each seat are foldable armrests, and whilst there are a reasonable amount of solo seats for lone travellers like me, I opted for a table seat given how quiet it was. The legroom's acceptable considering there's no one opposite me. The recline function also aids this, which is manually operated with this button here, as indicated by the sign. Each seat contains a standard UK 3-pin power socket, though lack the USB sockets which the Azumas have. A personal reading light is located just above, beneath the luggage racks. Oh, and speaking of lights, the carriages have a nice calm violet lighting installed, which I think really improves the overall interior ambience. The overhead luggage racks themselves just about manage to fit my small suitcase, though there are of course bigger ones towards the vestibules if you have anything larger. The seat reservation system didn't appear to be working for my seats, though there are card holders at the back of them in events like this where the system goes down. One thing that was working though was the live passenger information screens, which display information such as the news, journey progress and live updates of connections, as seen here with tube connections upon arrival into King's Cross. Finally, there are coat hangers located next to the draw-down curtains to block out the view if it's too bright or if you just want to rest. Overall, these interiors remain my favourite in Britain, certainly beats an Azuma any day. Staff shortages are rather common in the UK around the festive season, but nevertheless credit to the hosts for their brilliant service. First up was a round of drinks ahead of the main course arriving. Our first stop after just over 20 minutes is Newark Northgate, a Grade 2 listed station and one of two serving the market town of Newark-on-Trent in the East Midlands. This station also provides an interchange with LNER's Lincoln services, which run every 2 hours to and from London King's Cross, made possible thanks to the introduction of the Azumas. Shortly after leaving Newark, my breakfast arrives, though my hunger got the better of me before taking the shot, as I already started eating my muffin. The porridge is walnut and is part of the Christmas menu, which is linked in the description below. Oh, and of course, here's your reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, which is free and the best way to support my work. I got some incredible trips planned for 2024, and I want you along with me. Thanks! Around 10 minutes later, we pull into Grantham, which is notable for being the birthplace of former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, as well as for producing Britain's first diesel engine and tractor, both towards the end of the 19th century. This stretch of the East Coast Main Line is where our Intercity 225 really picks up speed. Whilst the sets were designed for 140 miles an hour, infrastructure and signalling limitations have resulted in them being capped at 125 miles an hour, and despite the upgrades underway on the East Coast to permit these speeds in the future, the upcoming replacement of the Intercity 225s means they won't be retrofitted with the signalling necessary to reach 140 miles an hour, meaning after over 30 years, they will never have reached their intended design speed. We also passed through Warrington Junction, around 3 miles north of Peterborough. A dive under was completed in 2021 as part of the East Coast Main Line improvement works, with the aim of not only reducing congestion and journey times on the line, but also allowing further paths on the route to be utilised by more intercity trains. Peterborough is one of the largest settlements in Cambridgeshire and the third largest in the East Anglia region. Here you can interchange for local services across the East Anglia as well as suburban Great Northern services if you require most of the intermediate stations between here and London King's Cross. Toilets are present in most of the carriages on board. Whilst the majority are standard, you'll also find a few accessible ones, but I'll be checking out the standard ones as a change of pace. As expected from a near empty train and one of the first services of the day, it's impeccably clean, and as with the rest of the interior, it's evident that not much has changed since the Virgin East Coast days. Then again, they did a fantastic job with the interior refit. Everything works well as it should too, so I'm going to give the toilet a big thumbs up. Right, let's head back and finish the journey to London. One of my favourite parts of the East Coast Main Line is the Hitchin flyover, which we again pass at 125 miles an hour, the top line speed. Completed in 2013, this allows Thameslink and Great Northern services to reach the line to Cambridge without disrupting the main traffic travelling down the line to London and the north. Our last stop, not long after passing Hitchin, is Stevenage. LNER provide limited services here, as do open access operators Lumo and Hull Trains. Most services are provided by Great Northern and Thameslink, with the exception of the Cambridge Cruiser non-stop services between London and Cambridge and King's Lynn. Funnily enough, it's on the last half hour of the route where the majority of interesting sights on the East Coast can be seen. The 40-arc Welwyn Viaduct carries our Intercity 225 over the River Mimram and into Welwyn Garden City, the second garden city to be established in England in the 20th century. In the Intercity 225's heyday, they were maintained here, at Bounds Green in North London, alongside LNER's former HSD fleet. Since the introduction of the Azumas, the Intercity 225s have since been relocated to Neville Hill in Leeds. Oh, and don't miss the stunning Alexandra Palace as we pass through the station itself. It's an absolutely stunning piece of architecture, and I highly recommend a visit if you get the chance. Well, we're now coming to the end of the journey today. Overall, a fantastic trip. I've never really had any issues with LNER's service quality, and the added comfort of the Intercity 225s really makes it Britain's best intercity product by far. Whilst I am sad these will be replaced in the coming years, they really have built a solid foundation for travel on the East Coast, and I'm looking forward to trying the new CAF sets when they enter service in the coming years. My ticket price for this trip, including my railcard discount of a third, was £39.40, booked less than a week in advance. LNER first class fares are great value for money if you get a good price, so why not give them a go sometime? To top off the journey, we arrive into London King's Cross 2 minutes early. Now you've heard from me, I want to hear from you. What do you think of LNER's Intercity 225s? Have you travelled on them before? Let me know in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to like and share it, as well as subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more content such as this weekly. Right, it's time to get settled in now and ready for the year. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.